Did you go to school for music, or is it all self-taught?
I did. I was self-taught through my younger years, and I kind of like would take lessons on and off,
Sure.
but I would always just try end up playing by ear, and so I never really found something that stuck. But then I went to a small college in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's called Grace Christian University now, but they had a really amazing music program. But they have a really amazing music program, and being small, it was kind of like you got a lot of
Mm.
opportunity on campus. So you didn't have 1,000 people waiting, signing up for the studio. You know what I mean? There were only a handful, and they weren't even using it. So I was like in the studio all night, every night. I would be in the studio working till 5 a.m. and then I'd sleep on the couch. And at 8 a.m. I'd walk down the hall to my other classroom. You know what I mean? And just be there for class. Like I was like always in there. But I learned music theory there, and I learned audio production there. And so, I had a friend that my first semester there, he was a junior, senior. He pulled me into the studio and started recording me. So I had like early exposure to like Pro Tools and like
Sure.
full on producing a song with all the senior players like playing drums and guitar and bass, you know what I mean? And to me, it was like, what is happening? This is the best thing in the world, you know what I mean? And so I've always been just addicted to it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? When all my friends were going out and like doing, Applebee's appetizers and movies and stuff, I really was just like, I can't go, I got to go in the studio. And like, I was just really disciplined to like pour into that more than anything else, you know?
Absolutely, man. I completely relate to that, and it's really interesting. I don't know if you get these kinds of messages, but I get a lot of message where it's like people saying, like, hey, I'm thinking about the fact that I want to be a musician. Like, do you have any tips or kind of things? And to some degree, I'm like, of course, yeah, absolutely. I have, I'll give you some tips here and there. But the other hand of that is like, I don't know if I remember thinking about being a musician. I just feel like it was like I had to do this. Like this is what I needed to do, kind of thing. It's like, and like you said, if you're on the fence about it, you're not going to stay into the studio until 5 a.m. and then sleep for 3 hours and go to class at 8. Like those are the things that I feel
Right.
like you need to have to make it in this. And this industry sucks, man. There's so much rejection and
Yeah.
slaps in the face and people like not responding and all this stuff. Like of course in any industry, but I just feel like because you're putting yourself out there to some degree more than like maybe as like a 9 to 5 job, it
Right.
hurts. And if you're not in like fully devoted, like this is what I have to do, you're not. There's no way you're gonna last.
100%. Yeah. And you see these artists that like, they don't, they don't let the rejection stop them.
Yeah.
They just have this attitude and mentality of like, I'm going to keep going and doing my thing no matter who rejects it. Like there's people that are liking it and I'm making it for them, or
Mm.
even I'm just making it for me. Whoever likes it can like it.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to create, like you said, someone one time said to me too, they were talking about people who make it in music versus people who don't, and like the passion behind it. They're like, how much music is enough? Because if playing the guitar for 1 hour on a Saturday is enough for you, like that's fine. It can be a hobby. But if you literally can't, like all you're thinking about is that next song you're working on in the middle of, and you're eating faster so you can get to the studio, and you're rushing everything because all you want to do is that, and like you're never getting tired, and that passion is driving every
Yeah.
decision in your life. Like that is literally, I think, like I know the level that is required
Yeah.
in order to make it. There's too many people that are that are busting their butt to doing that. You know what I mean? And sometimes the best musicians aren't discovered.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
It's so
it's
interesting, man.
yeah, like those opportunities, like there's not a formula for success, or there's not this ingredients that this sure like for sure will lead to success or being signed or whatever it is. Like it really is just you just put in the work and do your thing. And sometimes people, man, are super successful just being in their own house, their own indie business, like recording people, and they're not known like around the world or whatever, but like
Yeah.
you don't need that to be a successful musician. You
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
it
And I
it
would
all
say
depends on how you define success.
exactly. That's what I was just gonna say. Like it really is more about having joy and being
Yeah.
fulfilled and satisfied with what you're working on than just trying to chase either numbers or followers or people knowing what you do, because sometimes when you chase that you end up working on stuff that you aren't as
Yeah.
passionate about, and that can suck you dry faster than anything. You know.
100%, man. Absolutely.